Welcome to another episode of the Breakthrough Creative, a very special episode with your host, John McDavitt, where we talk about the business of art and the art of business. I've taken the show on the road for those of you who are listening on the podcast. It's not too far. I'm actually in my backyard, but the sounds of summer are upon us, as you can hear by heavy-throated vehicles driving by every so often, and the warbling of summer birds sounding their joy, and neighbors playfully barbecuing outside. Ah, yes, the story of summer. We all love stories, don't we? I really like stories. I think most people do. I think that's why people spend so much money to not just make movies, but then to go and see them. You know, we read stories. I told you, heavy-throated vehicle on its way through. But, you know, we all love stories. We read them in books. We watch them on TV, at the movies, and now on our phones. 20 years ago, if you told me we would be doing that, I don't know how much I would have believed you. But we listen to friends and strangers tell their stories, and they then tell stories of other people, and we like those too. One of my favorite childhood stories, not that it necessarily is a childhood story, but it took place in my childhood. The first time I saw it was a story that took place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And it focused on some nobody, a farm boy on a nowhere planet, far off from the epicenter of any kind of adventure. It was not an adventurous place. The main character had a keen heart for adventure, a real desire to be involved in some adventure, a desire to fight in an intergalactic battle to serve the forces of good. And when the opportunity for adventure dropped in his lap by way of 2 droids and an old Jedi, Luke found himself in the very thick of things. Real adventure and real danger. Now, Luke had some distinct advantages in his particular story. One, he had big dreams. You know, a strong dissatisfaction with his current status in life, and he had a desire for adventure. He had some natural talent, meaning he was strong with the Force. This gave him a special edge. And he had an amazing mentor in Obi-Wan, someone older who had been there before, someone to lead him and encourage him and to impart wisdom. And he had the willingness to participate. It's one thing to have big dreams. It's one thing to have super talent. It's one thing to have an amazing mentor. And it's another thing to shoulder the load and to go after it yourself. An absolutely necessary ingredient to any amazing character and any amazing story. Stories are so powerful. They show us what can be possible. They use metaphor and allegory to reveal age-old truths and wisdom. You know, they stir our imaginations, and they teach us not just what is possible, but to dream about those possibilities in our own lives. They teach us lessons that are as old as time itself, and they encourage us and give us hope when there may be few other sources. We all have that story we cling to, no matter how dire our circumstances may be, right? So now I want to ask you, Breakthrough Creative, are you living the story of your creative life? And maybe better yet, are you living the story of your creative career? Are you making it happen? Because I know when I was younger, as far away as Luke felt from the Star Wars that were happening and the galaxy way up above and way out beyond his sight, that was about as far away as I felt from making a living as an artist myself. The only artists I knew of were in California, and they were working on films. And those were the only ones actually that I wanted to be like. They existed as hearsay, as words and photos in magazines, and they showed up in the odd clips on television special interest shows. They were as distant from me as an encounter with Bigfoot. But I had some things going for me. I had some big dreams, really big dreams. I wanted to play in the same arena as the heavy hitters. And even though I was young and untested, I was determined to succeed. I did not want that dead-end non-art career sucking the life out of me and laying waste to my creative years ahead. And then I had a strong natural talent for things creative, for drawing and designing, singing, acting, storytelling. Creativity kind of poured out of me. And I had amazing mentors who encouraged that, encouraged my interests and encouraged me to explore my talents. They came along at seemingly just the right times in my life. My dad, my middle school art teacher, and the Oscar-winning makeup artist, Dick Smith. By the way, check out episode 3 in my podcasts, Mentors, Your Secret Weapon. It was before I was actually crafting YouTube videos, so you'll have to go, like I said, to episode 3. I have the link down in the show notes. And then I got to work. I didn't mean I got to work like I was able. I got busy getting to work. And it wasn't always smooth or easy or fun because I didn't know what I was doing. I had to act on things and figure it out. But you know, sometimes it was fun. And it was more fun than not. Or I don't know that I would have kept doing it. Why would you want to do something that has no fun attached to it? And the struggle is part of the fun, because challenges help to grow us and help to show us what we're made of, and that we have possibilities that we can fight through to get to the ending that we would like to achieve, right? Why do it if it's all just handed to you on some kind of silver platter? And I found myself spending so much time working and creating and earning and learning and building relationships with amazing clients and business partners and other artists and people, many of whom I call friends now. And I wouldn't have known them if it wasn't for that adventure that I went after. But you say, that's great for you, but what about me? I don't have the same talents as you. I don't have the same opportunities as you, and I don't have the same mentors as you. Well, thank goodness for that, because you're you, and you're going to have your own set of skills and talents, and you're going to have your own sets of opportunities and your own sets of mentors. And I'm going to ask you this. We've all got dreams. What are your dreams? Surely you must know them, right? You know what they are. I don't think you'd even spend the time listening to me if you didn't. These are the future you stories. Who you're going to be one day. Who you want to be. You've told yourself these stories for a long time, I'm betting. And maybe you've told your dearest friends these stories too, of who and what you esteem to be and achieve. So what are your natural talents? What are your skills? What are your interests? I mean, I loved monsters, and I wanted to make them somehow. I fell in love with drawing and telling myself stories about the things, and before I knew it, I was competent with a pencil. Then, when I needed to make some money, I picked up an airbrush, and I spent time with that thing. And eventually, about 3 months in, I became good enough to sell some shirts and make some money. Truth in fact, I wasn't that good. And you know what? You don't have to be Yo-Yo Ma. You don't have to be Drew Struzan. You don't have to be J-Lo to start your career. They weren't who they became. Nobody knew their names when they got started, but they had to start somewhere. So remember that. We all start somewhere. What about mentors? Who have you found to emulate? Who have you found to teach you? Find some good ones. I mean, it may take some work, but the world has never been smaller than it is right now. The internet, social media, online classes, YouTube. I mean, roll up your sleeves and give a shout out to someone you admire. The worst that can happen is they tell you to bug off or they don't reply. But maybe, just maybe, someone replies and wants to help you. They see something in you. They are going to give you some time. So many people who have achieved so much already want to help people who are a little bit further behind them. They want to help because it feels good, and they want to help because they remember what it was like to be in your situation and in your shoes. And if that happens, suddenly you've got an opportunity laid out before you. Amazing. You know, and if all else fails, find somebody online who you want to take a course from. Find somebody whose work you really like and find out if they offer courses and then spend the money to do it. I'll talk a little bit more about courses in another episode, but courses, the right ones in particular, can be life and career altering. Now, a word of warning and encouragement. Some are going to see you on your journey and they're going to tell you you cannot do it. They're going to tell you it's impossible. Now, consider their words. They may contain some wisdom, but if you have a dream, if you have a desire, if you have talent, if you have mentors who see your potential and they're already encouraging you, or that you find that they do encourage you, and then inside of you, you have the willingness to work hard because you have a vision for where it is you want to end up. Forge ahead, my friend. Go after it. Go after the adventure of a lifetime. You won't regret it, I don't think. I don't know anybody who has. Now, these people who don't have the eyes to see your natural potential and who may share a discouraging word may not have the understanding or the ability to lift you up. Instead, they attempt to hand you a lead balloon with their words, right? And that lead balloon is going to keep you grounded. Don't take that lead balloon. And if you have, let go of it, okay? When you do find yourself believing them, go find one of your mentors. Go find someone who believes in you and ask them to help you peel your fingers off of that thing and let it drop and clank off the ground, and then find yourself ascending to meet your vision and to make it reality. That's good stuff right there. That's what we want to do. So, I know it's a short episode, but I thought it was important, and I think that we need to understand that the stories that inspire us are not so far off from the stories that are going to help us to craft our lives, to shape our lives into the shape that we long for them to be. You know, something that is a crafted and amazing piece of work. So hold on to your dreams and see if you can't make them a reality. See if you can't take those stories that inspire you and see how they line up with the dreams that also inspire you in your creative journey and your professional journey. Take a look at your talents. What is it that you can do? What is it that separates you from the crowd? Because you can draw or paint or write, or you're excellent with a camera, or you are an incredible, you know what you are. Put the title into that empty slot. How does that separate you from the rest? And what can you do to get better at it? What can you do to excel at it? And when you're ready to move ahead with that, find yourself an amazing mentor, because amazing mentors can make all the difference in your world. They're going to be your encouragement. They're going to be your cheerleaders. They're going to pull you along to new heights and show you things that you never thought you would see or hear. And they're also going to show you pitfalls and traps to avoid. And they may even have connections that you need to get to that next step in life. And then finally, are you willing to do it? I was just talking to a bunch of people about that earlier today, the willingness to act. Are you willing to act? Are you willing to act and forge ahead and take a chance that your adventure, that your dream, that your desire and your vision and your talents and the mentors that you have trusted in, that have invested in you, are going to pay off? That yes, there may be some pain along the way, there probably will be, but you can't avoid that all your life. And if you try to avoid it all your life, you're probably going to end up an unhappy person, because that's some of the stuff that makes us grow more than anything else. All right? So go live your story. And if you would, please take a moment and subscribe to the Breakthrough Creative on whatever platform you're watching, and share with a friend in your life. I really appreciate it. Have an incredible week and get busy about the business of creating something or working towards your entrepreneurial business as an artist. Cheers.